Lamborghini just dropped a bomb on the supercar world. A car that not only says goodbye to their iconic V10 engine, but also embraces hybrid technology. The new Lamborghini Temerario is here to blow your mind. This isn't just any hybrid. We're talking about a beast that packs 907 horsepower and revs to a mind-bending 10,000 RPM. So what's the story behind this car? How does Lamborghini plan to keep its die-hard fans happy while embracing the future? And just how fast is this new bull from Lamborghini? This is the Lamborghini Temerario, the supercar that's rewriting the rules of the game. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our future videos. The Temerario marks the end of an era for Lamborghini, saying goodbye to that naturally aspirated V10 that's been the heart and soul of their entry-level supercars since the day of the Gallardo. But the new power plant is a 4.0-litre twin-turbocharged V8. Now, another turbo V8 sounds boring, right? But trust me, this is no ordinary V8. On its own, this engine churns out a whopping 789 horsepower. That's more than the outgoing V10 in its most potent form. But Lamborghini didn't stop there. They've added not one, not two, but 3 electric motors to the mix. 2 on the front axle, and 1 sandwiched between the engine and the new 8-speed dual-clutch gearbox. The result? A combined output of 907 horsepower and 730 Nm of torque. Let that sink in for a moment. But remember how I mentioned 10,000 RPM earlier? That was not a typo. This twin-turbo V8 doesn't hit its red line until 10,000 RPM, with peak power coming between 9,000 and 9,750 RPM. In a world where most turbocharged engines are out of breath by 7,000 RPM, this is nothing short of extraordinary. But what about the sound? Well, Lamborghini claims they've worked some magic here too. They've engineered a special connection between the V8's banks that enhances the sound depending on engine speed, and carefully designed the exhaust routing for maximum oral pleasure. Will it match the spine-tingling wail of the old V10? Well, only time will tell. But Lamborghini CEO Stephen Winkelmann promises it's incredible. And let's not forget the hybrid part of this equation. The Temerario comes with a 3.8 kWh battery pack. Before you start thinking about long electric-only cruises, let me stop you right there. This system is all about performance, not efficiency. You might get about 9 miles of electric-only range, but that's not the point. The electric motors are here to fill in any gaps in the power delivery and provide instant torque when you need it the most. So, the million-dollar question, how fast is it? Well, Lamborghini claims a 0 to 62 mph time of just 2.7 seconds, with 0 to 125 mph coming up in just 7.3 seconds. The top speed? Over 213 mph. Ladies and gentlemen, we're firmly in hypercar territory here, but numbers only tell part of the story. Lamborghini promises that despite the switch to turbocharging, the Temerario will maintain the high progression linearity that made their V10 famous. In other words, it should still reward you for chasing the red line, now all the way to 10,000 RPM. Now that we've gotten that powertrain out of the way, let's talk about what you'll see when this beast rolls up next to you. One look at the Temerario and there's no mistaking it for anything but a Lamborghini. It's all sharp angles, aggressive lines, and that unmistakable wedge shape that's been a hallmark of the brand since the day of the Countach. But this isn't just a rehash of the Huracan's design. the Temerario takes things to a whole new level. Let's start at the front. The first thing you'll notice are the new hexagonal daytime running lights. Moving along the side, you'll see massive air intakes feeding those hungry radiators. The side profile is pure Lamborghini with a low, aggressive stance that looks like it's doing 200 miles per hour just standing still. But it's when you get to the rear that things get really wild. Remember how I said that this car revs to 10,000 RPM? Well, Lamborghini wants to make sure you see that engine working. The rear deck is largely absent, giving you a clear view of the monstrous V8. The diffuser on this thing is absolutely massive. It looks like it came straight off a Le Mans prototype, complete with a center-mounted fog light that wouldn't look out of place on a GT3 race car. And let's not forget the exhaust, a single, centrally mounted unit that looks ready to spit flames at a moment's notice. Lamborghini claims the Temerario generates 103% more downforce than the Huracan Evo. And if you opt for the lightweight Allegarita package, that number jumps to a whopping 158% increase. Speaking of the Allegarita package, it's worth a mention. This option shaves off up to 27 kilos, about 60 pounds, through the use of carbon fiber components and increases the aero load by 67%. But perhaps the most impressive thing about the Temerario's design is how it manages to look so extreme while still being functional. Every scoop, every vent, every curve serves a purpose. It's the equivalent of a perfectly tailored suit. It looks amazing, but it's also engineered to perform. So, the exterior looks good, obviously, but the Temerario might just change your mind about what a supercar interior can be. Step inside, and you'll find yourself in a cockpit that's unmistakably Lamborghini, but with a twist. Yes, there are still plenty of hexagons. It wouldn't be a Lambo without them. And yes, it still feels like you're sitting in a fighter jet. But there's something different here. Lamborghini has decided that maybe, just maybe, supercar owners might want to drive their cars for more than 15 minutes without needing a chiropractor. The result is a cabin that's not only more spacious, but also more luxurious than ever before. Let's start with the basics. Headroom is up by 34mm and legroom has increased by 46mm. That might not sound like much, but in low supercars, it's practically spacious. And for those of you who like to take your Lambo to the track, there's now enough headroom to comfortably wear a helmet. Speaking of comfort, let's talk about those seats. The standard seats are 18-way adjustable, heated and ventilated. And you can also opt for carbon fiber shell seats that Lamborghini claims will wrap around you like a glove. But comfort is only part of the story. This is still a Lamborghini after all, and that means the interior needs to be as dramatic as the exterior. The dashboard is dominated by not one, not two, but 3 screens. There's a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster for the driver, and an 8.4-inch central infotainment display, and even a 9.1-inch screen for the passenger. And the materials? Well, carbon fiber, leather, and something called Corsatex microfiber are liberally applied throughout the cabin. It's a blend of high-tech and high luxury that screams, I'm expensive, but I'm worth it. Lamborghini has introduced something called the Levu system. No, it's not a new dating app. It stands for Lamborghini Vision Unit, and it's basically a suite of high-tech features designed to enhance your driving experience. Want to record your hot laps at the track? The Levu system's got you covered with its telemetry 2.0 feature. It can record data from over 150 circuits worldwide, including tire pressures and even your heart rate if you're wearing an Apple Watch. There's also a memories recorder that can capture the expressions of your passengers when you unleash all 907 horsepower. And for those more mundane moments, there's even a dashcam function. Because you never know when you might need to prove it wasn't your fault that you were doing 150 miles per hour in a school zone. But perhaps the most impressive thing about the Temerario's interior is how it manages to balance comfort and performance. Lamborghini CEO Steven Winkelmann put it best when he said, "It should help you to be easy on the racetrack, but also not to be exhausting when you drive this car in the city or on the highway." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the key to the Temerario's interior. It's a space that's comfortable enough for daily driving, but still focused enough for those moments when you want to unleash your inner racing driver. It's the best of both worlds, wrapped in carbon fiber and hexagons. But what does this mean for the future of Lamborghini? Is this the end of the Lamborghini we know and love, or the beginning of an exciting new chapter? Yes, the Temerario is a hybrid. Yes, it's turbocharged. And yes, it's a departure from the naturally aspirated engines. But before you start mourning the death of the supercar, the automotive world is changing, and fast. Emissions regulations are getting stricter, and the push towards electrification is undeniable. Lamborghini had a choice: adapt or die. And did they adapt in style? The Temerario isn't just a concession to regulations, it's a statement of intent. It's Lamborghini saying, we can do hybrid, and we can do it better than anybody else. The Temerario is just the beginning. The company has plans for an entire lineup of hybrid models over the next decade. So, what do you think? Is the Temerario the future of supercars, or has Lamborghini lost its way? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest updates on more hypercars. Until next time.